And we are live. Hi, everyone. I would say good morning, good afternoon, and good evening from where you are joining us. Thank you for joining Wednesday Live Talk, organized by Race. And before we start our talk, I took the permission of our guest, Suprita, to highlight a little bit about race for those who are joining us for the first time. In Race, we are a community of passionate coaches, educators, parents who are creating or keen to create a global movement to evoke collaboration in the field of education worldwide. And how? By creating learning revolutions. Why we are doing that? Because we want to create this kind of heart-to-heart conversation between in the classroom, so that even in the school system worldwide. And that's why in Race we organize online or in-person workshops with parents, with even students and teenagers, just to share with them tools and techniques that they can use in order to bring harmony in their relationship with each other. And if you are interested to be part of a race, you are most welcome to log in or not log in to visit our website coachingforeducation.com and communicate with us and share with us your interest. Without any further ado, I would like to come back to our guest, Suprita. How are you?
Thank you, Mazen. Good evening, and good evening, good morning, good afternoon to everyone here. So, I am doing fine. How are you?
Alhamdulillah, thank you. I'm doing well. So, to start with, I would like to thank you for your time and dedication to give us this 30 minutes of conversation about this topic. And it's really, I'm appreciating that for the sake of, as a topic is really important. The topic of our conversation today, discover self through coaching. So I will introduce you, but differently. I will just mention a highlight points about you, and then I will lead with a question so that you can tell us more about you. So I'll tell the audience that Suprita is a consultant and accredited coach, certified in behavior analyst, as well as certified emotional quotient analyst as well. She comes with a corporate background with an experience over 17 years. She's passionate about knowing people and as well helping them to achieve and to co-create the future that they are dreaming for or dreaming about. She is coaching individual, teenage, and professionals. And without giving more information, I would like to ask our guest, Suprita, what else would you would like to tell your audience about you?
Thank you, Mazen, for the wonderful introduction. And I'm honored to be a part of Race and speak about coaching because coaching is something which is not very, I would say, is maybe misunderstood or misconstrued or not very prevalent, at least where I stay in India. So, and yes, of course, I work with a lot of people, as Mason said, with, young adults, with young professionals, entry level professionals in the organizations. So, and it is extremely interesting, whatever Mason you have said. For me, what I did was I was, like I wasn't in the corporate sector. And one thing which I want to add is that I wish I had been exposed to coaching earlier when I was younger, maybe when I was in college or maybe when I was in school. Coaching, there is no age for coaching. Of course, we know that motivators and other things get formed after the age of 17. But uh, if I would have been exposed to coaching in my early days of my life, maybe at the age of 17, 18, 16, maybe I would have been a different person. So now I am discovering myself. It's not that I'm a master, I'm not here to preach, but it's a journey. And the journey continues for everyone, whether you are at whatever level you are in your life, in your professional life, personal life. So it's a journey which I am enjoying in the last 3 years. And coaching, I would say one thing in my personal life has helped me a lot in handling the pandemic, which we all of us know, what we saw. This was something which was not something which is a lifetime experience. None of us knew what the pandemic was and what COVID brought about. So because I was exposed to coaching, and formally I got exposed to coaching 3 years back, and it has opened up a lot of things for me. So just to add that, there's a myth about coaching, that coaching is for non-performers, coaching is for people who are emotionally imbalanced, coaching is for people who do not have, who have some psychiatric problems. So it's not that. It's a different domain altogether. Coaching, mentoring, clinical psychology, psychiatrist, they're all different domains. So as a coach, I need to know, if I'm dealing with a client, that whether I'm qualified to deal with, there are people who come up, and when I'm talking to them, if I see that there are signs of depression or medication is required, I am not the person whom I would be talking to. That's a different domain altogether. And
Really,
race is something which is which is spreading awareness about coaching. So I'm happy that I'm able to associate with coaching, with race today.
thank you for the introduction about your journey. I really like when you said about the journey, and I really like about the point of coaching, about how coaching was perceived, especially when you call it as a myth, which is really true. Now, there's a question from Carla asking, what was the first change you saw in yourself when you started being coached?
The first change was, I started accepting myself the way I am, accepting my blind spots. I came out a lot of blind spots. Maybe I had a certain perception about myself, and somebody else had another perception about myself. So that's where there was a lot of dissonance, and I started accepting things the way it is. I started looking for possibilities instead of the fact that, uh, my mindset changed from a victim mindset, what we call a victim mindset, like, because of you, because of my boss, I didn't get my promotion. I worked so hard, I didn't get my promotion. Because of my spouse, I did not get, this happened to me. So nothing happens because of the other person. So that's what I realized. What I do, what actions I take, is, the result which I get is all about the action which I take and how I start observing. So what I did, the first thing was reflecting and observing myself, how I'm behaving, how I'm talking, a lot of reflection across conversations, within
So,
the family, within the organization. That was the first change which I saw.
really interesting because after talking about reflection, or even the need or the urge of starting the coaching, or the urge of changing something, I have a question, which is, what makes self discovery an important need or requirement? And sometimes it become an urge for who's keen to change, to have change in their lives.
Yeah. So self discovery, I mean, it's a very vast term. it is, I would not, I would be honest with you in saying that I'm still discovering myself, but I'm a much happier person today. I think my awareness levels are much higher as compared to what I was 3 years or 5 years back. So self discovery to me means uh, questioning myself about why am I here, what is my purpose. I have been brought up, and all of us have been brought up with certain beliefs, certain past experiences, values. So, questioning that, are these values, are these beliefs, is my history helping me to move ahead, or is it limiting me? So that's how I, any incident happening in my life, anything, any conversation. So, so I have started discovering myself. What is the objective? Why am I into the conversation? What are my, am I judging people? Am I judging the circumstance? Am I assuming things, or am I going by the facts?
You
So
know,
that's the journey of self discovery I'm into.
no, mentioning or stating those kind of questions, or I can call, as you call it, reflection. For me, the way when you said it, I've noticed that such kind of reflection would give a meaning, that there is a meaning in any relationship I'm having, either with myself, either with others. So, especially when you said about the blind spot. So, my question here, what is the important or the importance of discovering the blind spot from your point of view?
So the importance of discovering the blind spot is that, sometimes we are very opinionated because we are brought up with different stories in our uh, in our head. Say, for example, Suprita is a very aggressive person. Suprita is a, she's very helpful, she's very honest. All these are stories because maybe I have been brought up that in that manner. That's how people perceive me. But what am I actually? What is a fact about me? The fact is that, I'm a female, I'm a coach. uh, these are my facts. So if I were to ask you, write 5 facts about yourself, a lot of people say, you know I'm very approachable, I'm honest, I am good, I am I'm a go-getter, or whatever it is. I'm shy. So these are all these adjectives, but the fact that, uh, I'm 30 years old. I belong to this country. So these are the facts about myself. So that's where the importance of blind spots comes in. We we perceive ourselves in a certain manner, and there is a gap between what I perceive, what is my perception, self perception, and what others perceive about me. And there is something called, how am I perceived in extreme situations? How do I people perceive me in a crisis situation? So connecting all this, I come to know, maybe I'm blindfolded to a lot of things which have opened up for me through the journey of coaching. Not fully, I'm still working towards it, because it's ages of practice that I have been brought up with. It is not easy to shed it in the last 3 years. But the fact that I am aware, I observe myself, something known as, observing the observer. That is what has brought about the change.
I fully agree with you. To be honest with you, when I start coaching, or the reason behind starting coaching, the first question I was really shocked when I was asked about what is my values. I couldn't know. What is the thing that makes me fulfilled? I didn't know. I was like, like something is the first time to come across, and literally, as you said, going through the self-discovery's journey and knowing these things are really helpful in making life more I would say enjoyable in the sense being fully engaged with it. So one of the question I would like to link the blind spots with your certification and being certified in behavior analyst plus the emotional questionnaire analyst. My question here, how I can be aware of my own blind spots?
So it's about self reflection. First of all, if for coaching, a person has to be open and I need to believe in it. If I am going through a coaching journey, if I am talking to a coach, I need to be uh, extremely open. I cannot be opinionated, I cannot be judgmental. I have to shed certain beliefs which I've held for last whatever years, 30, 40 years. So what I would say is that uh, mm, what what when you are talking about a blind spot, you have to be extremely open, because uh, the coach will hold a mirror for you and you see yourself. Say, I was shown my dark side, but my coach was there. He or she held my hand there. So there was challenge, there was care. I Because my coach cared for me, so he challenged me, and that's what opened up a lot of things. Today I'm more open to accepting uh, accepting things, accepting other people the way they are, because coaching is all about me, it is not about the other person. I am not here to change the other person. It is how I adapt to the other person's style.
Yeah. Honestly, when you said about accepting and being open, you reminded me when in the beginning of my journey in coaching, I was really obsessed with doing a lot of assessment. MBTI, desk, all of these. I was, honestly speaking, people start telling, "Are you crazy? You'll be like psycho," something like that. I said, "No, it's the point is as much I'm clearer approach and even being aware of my own self, that will enable me or even helping me to be more accepting others, of understanding even others. It's not
Absolutely.
about, as you said, it's not about the other person. It's about me knowing myself so that I'll be able to know the other person in front of me, whether at
Yes,
work, whether
absolutely.
at a relationship, anything. So we have two questions. The first question is, what is the relationship between coaching and mental health? Or what's the effect of coaching on on the healthy life of a person or the surroundings?
So coaching, is very powerful, because that is something, as we have seen COVID, the pandemic, there is so many mental health issues which have surfaced, which have come up because people are tied up. They don't, they're not able to meet others. So that has risen. So if I go through the process of coaching, I know how to create my balance. Where is it? I become more aware. I know that there are certain things which are not in my control, but I will start looking at things which are in my control, where I can influence. I will not fret over things which is not in my control. So mental health is, there are different definitions of mental health, but of course, uh, coaching does is, it helps you to bring up your thought process. It helps you to declutter your thinking,
Yeah.
so that the fog is removed and you're able to think from your uh, cognitive brain. That's how it is linked to the mental
Yes.
health, instead of using your emotional brain.
Exactly. The point I want to add over here is being aware of how you are reacting to stimulus or things happening around you, or even because of incidents or because of people's behavior towards you, being aware and being able to identify such kind of emotions and the reaction, you'll be able to define what kind of reaction you'll be in a respond mood
Yes.
rather than the reaction mood.
Rather than a reaction mode. Absolutely.
So another question for
So
you,
just to
Sophia.
add to that is,
Yeah,
when I react, I am giving the power to the other person. Say I get angry, I am giving the power to you to control my emotion. I'm getting angry. So if I am empowered, I will not give the power for you to make me angry. I will respond to that situation.
and in that situation, who is the winner?
I am the winner because I am empowering myself. I am not giving
Exactly.
the other person. It's not that because of you I got angry. Because you told this to me, because of your behavior, it put me off. So it's not
Exactly.
that. Yeah.
Yeah. It's more making the relationship more nourishing, more stronger, more engaging than,
Yes.
okay, who's right, who's wrong. Nobody's right is wrong. His point of view or whatever. But at least being aware of that will remove the heat in a relationship. So the other question we have over here is, what were the most surprising things me and you, found in our path to self-discovery?
For me, it was, it was like the way I have started. Because I was when I was working, it was all transactional. It was I was an extremely I would say a materialistic person. Materialistic in the sense my measures of success in life were different. But coaching, uh, taught me to go for it changed my measures of success in life. So don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that you should not be successful in your life, in your corporate life, in your professional life, in your personal life, but I need to know why am I here? Is this what I am meant for? So there were questions which I asked myself, like, uh, is it relevant for me? What am I getting out of it? No. So there are a lot of things, say, so the very important question is, if money and time were not a constraint, what is it that I would like to do? Of course, we all work, we all we have our liabilities, we want to get to a certain level, but I need to know where I have to draw the line. Questioning my why was very important.
Frankly speaking, for me, it's a similar, realization in a way. Who am I? Was my first question, especially when I discovered at the age of 41, my whole life has no meaning. As you said, if I'm achieving something, be in a good position, but I don't like it, it means there's something for me. It's not like it was something wrong, or something like missing. If I would like to call it as in something missing. There's no meaning. There's no liveness, and I used to call it in this way, like the journey is from zombiness to aliveness. This is
Yeah.
the way I describe it. So the discovery and surprising is that the life I lived was according to someone's writing, not my own writing. I didn't define my own, let's say, success. I didn't define my own happiness. It was others. That's why I didn't enjoy it. I was
Yeah.
struggling, drained. So I discovered through the coaching that if I define things based on my beliefs, my values, my strength, my preferences, I would be more engaged in creating what I would like to create. So that's the surprising thing. Nothing is fixed. Everything can be created, co-created. You cannot create it by yourself. You can create it by yourself, but also you need to create, to co-create it with someone else. Okay.
Absolutely.
So there is an input from Akram saying, I believe that if an individual succeeds in becoming a coach, it means that it has evolved in an unparalleled way.
Very true.
Yeah,
That's absolutely, I agree with you.
yeah. And its coaching is not just a certificate from an institute, a train or a training institute. I fully agree with you. It's,
Yeah, it is not.
no, no.
It's an inner transformation which happens.
See, it's good point about Akram is raising over here. For me, is coaching. It has a mission. It has a bigger message. Like in race, we want to bring something to the educational system. Why? Because we would like to bring life to whatever we are doing. It's not just to raise our kids for the sake of intellectual or academic growth. It's both,
Absolutely.
because being a human being, you are
Yeah,
so many things. It's not only just your brain is working, your heart, your soul, your brain, all together are working.
very true. So it's about, it's not about just, as you very rightly said, it's not just about bringing up children, in the and have a very high IQ. It is also about how advanced I am emotionally. How do I handle my emotions? Because end of the day, any success depends on, of course, I'm not saying that intellectual or intelligence is not required, but your emotional intelligence is uh, it needs to be very high in order for you to succeed in life, in any walk of life, professional life, personal life. And that's why, if coaching starts at an early age in the school, as you rightly said, if you can bring about a change in the system in schools and colleges, at least I can't say for the other parts of India, but for other parts of the globe. But yes, for India, definitely, you know, uh, there is a there's a lot of trust uh, on winning, on marks, on percentages, but the trust on learning is less.
Since we have almost like a 3 minutes, and what tool or approach you would propose or advise our audience that helps, especially when you said about the point of decluttering the thinking?
So, one thing which at least I am trying to practice and I do is that, we very often, when we see things, the negative things come first into our mind. I cannot do this, or we tell our children, don't do this, don't sit on the couch and eat. But what we have to say is, eat, go and eat at the table. So, when I start focusing on obstacles, I will only see obstacles in my life. But if I start focusing on the path, I will see that there is a path. If I see that, there is that I'm not able to work on this because my boss is bad, or because the company is bad, or because my wife is not supportive, my husband is not supportive. That's not. It's a choice which we make. It's a choice about how I perceive life, my career.
So you are inviting people to our audience to watch their language and they change the way they perceive things. So we have a question which is really nice. What indicates high emotional intelligence?
A high emotional intelligence would be, there's nothing right or wrong in terms of a high emotional intelligence. It's about being more self regulated, being more self aware. So, and which I can use in order to be socially aware and socially regulate myself. So its first thing starts with self-awareness and self-regulation.
In a way, like it reminds me of being present in the moment, not
Yeah,
being
being
taken by
mindful.
the yeah, yeah. So coming to reaching our end of our conversation, I would like to thank you for joining us and being with us today, Suprita. Thank you for your time. Thanks to everyone joining the call today, and wish you all the best. Thank you, and see you next Wednesday. All the best,
Thank
and
you
have
so
a good
much.
day.
Thank
Take
you,
care.
Mazen. It was my pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Appreciate it.